The Monday night started out quite slowly as far as Monday nights go. It was about one trip an hour for about the first 3 hours or so. Maybe I had a fourth trip after that. And then I was sent to the Walmart to pick someone up. There were these two women, and they wanted to go to Esquimalt, to the reservation. So I took them there, and one of them said, "Can you wait for me? I want to rehire you, and I need to go somewhere after this. I just need to change my clothes, and I'll be right back out." So I thought, okay, fine. It's slow. I might as well take another trip. And she ended up going way out the peninsula, just past the airport. So that was about a $20 fare, followed by a $60 fare. So it worked out very much to my advantage. And then that sort of set the tone for the rest of the night. There was one woman who gave me an $11 tip on an $8 fare. And right there. Yeah, a $1 tip on an $8 fare. I'm just parking the car. Gotta lock the doors. Gotta lock all the doors. Lock the doors. The automatic door locks don't work anymore. And the reason they don't work is because they broke. And it would cost like a lot of money to fix them, so nobody fixes them. Got my bag of tricks. There's my bag of tricks. And here's my back support. Get the back support in the bag of tricks. Close the door and lock it. Very good. The car is clean, it's been washed. All good. And there's the other one. Okay, so I'm on my way home now. It's about 6:30 in the morning, and as soon as I get home, I gotta put my bag away, take off my tie, and then I'm going to walk to the chiropractor's office and have a lower back decompression. Then I'm gonna walk back home, and then I'll be able to have my something to eat and relax. So what else happened that night? Yeah, there was this one who had an $8.50 fare, and she gave me an $11 tip. I think she thought she was making 11 to total. And then I told her, were you sure you wanted to give me this much? And she said, well, how much did I give you? I said, well, you gave me $19.50 for an $8.50 fare. And she said, oh, that's all right. I'll just take a box lunch instead of buying lunch at the cafeteria tomorrow. And we're all even Steven. And I said, well, you sure you don't want a refund? And she said, no, I don't want a refund. That's all yours. You deserve it. Great. I had a few other things like that where, it was like a $13 fare, and they gave me a 20 and said, give me 2 back, So, in that way, it was a good night. I ended up banking some money. And so now when I go to the chiropractor, I can pay my monthly chiropractor bill, and everything's going to be all right. And I think I might have enough for my car insurance. Got to get my car insurance before the 20th. And today is what, the 11th? So yeah, next weekend I gotta get car insurance. Then I gotta make some money for the rent. Then I gotta make some money for some bills. And I gotta make some money so I can afford to go camping. Oh yeah, 4 weeks I should be able to do it. And maybe even buy some whiskey. I know, one track mind. So the night ended up well. I ended up doing some sleeping in the morning hours. I was watching some videos, and when I watch videos, I fall asleep. Especially when they're hour-long videos. Yeah. And I believe that's where I fell asleep. It was an hour-long video. When I'm eating my dinner or breakfast, whatever you want to call it, that's when I will be doing some more catching up on YouTube and catching up some more tomorrow night. Tonight, or the night that just went by, I watched a lot of whiskey review videos that that I didn't see over the weekend because, well, now my two hobbies are overlapping: making videos and drinking whiskey. Well, not necessarily drinking whiskey, but tasting it and appreciating it. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Hi, Mom. I'll get back to you tomorrow. Well, it's Wednesday morning. It's 5:46. And I had the most dismal night I've seen in quite some time. Dismal in that by 10 o'clock last night I had 2 trips on. I have a grand total of 12 trips now, and it seems that when there was less time between trips, the trips were smaller. And I have a grand total of about 160 on for the whole night. Ugh. The first 2 trips were actually quite good. First one was $22. The second one was $28, and I thought, oh, okay, I got 50 bucks on. And that was at 8 o'clock. Then I had a 2-hour wait. I had a crappy little trip for like $8 or $9 with no tip. And that's the way it went. So now I'm done. I'm gonna go park it. I'm gonna go park it. There's the Inner Harbor. We're on the causeway. There's the Empress Hotel. Yeah, this is gonna be it for me. God, already is it. $160 on. Half of that is lease. About $9 or $10 of it is gas. Maybe $8. I did exactly 100 kilometers now. That's low. 100 kilometers for the whole night? That is really low. Usually by this time last night I had like 180. So that tells you what kind of a night it's been. Whatever. Not much else to say. This was not much to talk about tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. Well, it's about 20 minutes to 6. It is the end of my Wednesday night. And I did about $300 for a Wednesday night. That's really good. That's acceptable. It's the way things should be. And why did I not get a green light here? There it is. Yeah, so I did well. It's been... It was steady, but a little slow at the beginning until about 9 o'clock. And then I started getting more trips back to back. And the really crowning glory was when I just got to the parking lot for a couple of minutes and I got sent out to Haliburton. And this guy went from Haliburton into town, and that's like a $27 fare. And by the time we got him back to his place out on Haliburton, it was a $48 fare. He gave me $55. So that was what really helped. And I had a few other good trips in there. And so it's been a really decent night. Now at the end, I got one more and I thought, okay, that's it. And then just as I'm a block away from dropping that one off, another one's waving at me. So I drop that off, I pick up the waiver and take him out to Oak Bay, and that was from downtown. And now I'm heading back to the car wash to give the car a spray down and fuel it up and then park it, because we got a new driver on in the morning and he should be starting just after 6. Yeah. Anyway, it's been good. It's been a success. I'll be back tomorrow or tonight, depending on if something exciting happens. Well, it's almost 5 o'clock and here I am at the airport having dropped somebody off. She is going to Dallas, Texas by way of Calgary. And the night was fairly steady. At one point I had 4 loud young men, and they were drinking and they wanted to go downtown. And so they were being rude and crude on the way, and there was a girl in a Corvette next to us at a red traffic light, and they started making woo-woo noises to her and sticking their tongues out, like hanging their tongues down halfway down their chests, just because they'd never seen a girl in a Corvette before or something. Yeah, it's Friday morning. Had another call that was really strange. Got sent to a building to pick somebody up, and I got there and I called and I said I'm right outside, and the guy says, I don't see you. I said, well, I'm right outside. I don't know where you are. He says, well, go down the road a little bit. I'm thinking, oh no, it's one of those calls where the guy called from somewhere but gave the wrong address. I've had that happen before. So I go down the road and he says, go down the road a bit. I think I see you. So I turn onto the next street because it's the end of the street. He said, I don't see you anymore. Okay, so I turn around. I go back. And he happens to be around the corner. And of course there was no instruction saying to go around the corner. I just went to the front of the building because that's what I usually do when I get an address. So then there were these 2 guys, and they had beers, and there was a girl with them, and she looked kind of wobbly. And I thought, oh shit, oh no, they got her all drunked up, and now she needs a cab to go home because she needs a cab. And it was 3 o'clock. And I kind of think, when people drink too much, don't put them in a cab. Let them sleep it off on your couch so they can puke on your couch rather than in my car. Well, it turned out that she was okay. The guy was asking her, "Do you know your address?" Talking to her like she's 2 years old. And she said, "Well, of course I know my address." And she mentioned it. And I go, "Okay, I know where to go." So then he told me, "Well, you go to this address. You make sure she gets home, and this is the address you go to, and that's where you take her." I said, yeah, I got it. He says, "Well, you don't have to be a dick." And it's like at that point, I felt like saying, first of all, you wake somebody up from his nap to go and pick you up, and then you call him a dick? This is not the way to get good service. Anyhow, I took her home. She was apologizing for her friends, saying they just had her best interest at heart, and they're looking out for her, and so on and so on. It's like, yeah, you give me an address once, I can get there. I don't need to be told 5 times what the address is that we're going to. Anyway, I got her home, and I had a couple more fares, and now it's 5 o'clock exactly, and I'm on the highway heading back into town. I think I'm going to wash the car at the stop coming up, because they have a nice clean car wash. And I got some time to kill. A little, at least, anyway. Something like that. Whatever. Yeah, I'll talk to you sooner. I'm kind of out in the country right now. I'm just leaving a town called Crofton. Now, here's what happened. I got back into town from the airport and started to watch a video on YouTube. And I was sent to the Walmart, which is just a block away from where I usually sit in that parking lot. And these 2 kids, I would say they're in their late teens. They, a boy and a girl, they were coming out. They got stranded in Victoria for some reason, and they wanted to go for a ride to this town called Crofton, which was a $150 fare. And I was late, or it was 20 after 5 when I got the call. So we left Crofton. We left Victoria about an hour ago. Now I'm leaving Crofton and heading back. I left a message for the owner of the cab, and because if it was the owner of the cab driving this thing, it would not be a problem. It would work out just fine. But what happened is that yesterday, it's a long story. Yesterday, we got a new day shift guy who knew how to use this thing, but he did not know how to use the system in the other car, and the other car has a tablet in the place of this thing. So he doesn't know how to use the tablet. Otherwise, he'd be in the other car right now working already. But since I got the trip at the very end of my shift and sort of overlapping into his shift, I sent the message to the owner of the cab saying, "You might have to teach this guy how to use the tablet." And he said, "Well, you'll probably be back before I get there, so he'll have to deal with it." And so I just left a message saying, "Yeah, I'll give him a share of the profits for this fare, because yeah." I could have told him, "No, I'm not going to take your $150 ride," but that would be kind of silly, wouldn't it? So I took the $150 ride, naturally. So even if I have to give the guy, I thought, at 20 after 5, I would just get another fare, and it would be a short one, and I could park the car in time. No, it didn't work out that way this time. So anyway, whatever. The owner usually starts at, after 7, so it would be no problem he's usually there around 8 or so. So even if I'm late, it doesn't matter. But with this other guy, he's expecting to start at 6. Well, I don't know. I don't even know my way back from here. I think I got to turn right. Duncan. Yeah, okay. We got to go towards Duncan anyway. That's good. Then after Duncan, I got to make my way to Victoria. So yeah, look, they got moo cows in the field. Well, there are moo cows in the distance there in the field. I don't know if you can see them, but anyway, whatever. Yeah, I will talk to you tomorrow. This is really the end. The end of a Thursday night. It's Friday morning. Well, it's Friday and almost 7 p.m. And in the morning, I had that long trip, and I got back an hour and a half late, and I was willing to shoot the day shift guy $50, but he wasn't there, so I just kept all the money. And when I got back to work at 6 o'clock, there was a note. I have the note right here somewhere. Anyway, there was a note, and the note said, I had a long trip at the end, and so here's $5 for the gas. I was going to shoot him $50 for bringing the car late in the morning, but he gave me $5 for the gas. He used less than the $5 of gas that he gave me. Bonus. Too bad he's not going to be the regular day shift driver. So I got to keep all the money from that trip in the morning. And now, as soon as I got to the car, this other guy wanted a ride to go to the breakwater, which was like $20 in traffic. And then I got another fare as soon as I dropped them off at the breakwater. This other guy went to Haltane and Belmont Street for like 15 something on the meter. He gave me another 20. So I got $40 right off the pop. It's not even 7 o'clock yet, and my shift started at 6. So how much better can it get than this? Life is really good. Life is good. I'll tell you about this Friday night about 11 hours from now when I'm coming to the end of my shift. And I hope I have a good one. And by the looks of it, I can't do wrong. Looks like I'll be able to get those 3 bottles of whiskeys I've had my eye on. Well, I had a wonderful ending yesterday. That was the Friday morning. Now it is the Saturday morning. And everything was going just fine until about 1:30. At 1:30, I cleared from a trip, taking this young couple downtown. They got out at the Strathcona Hotel. And the Strathcona Hotel must have had 20 cabs lined up in front of it. Well, I turned the corner and left there, and this thing was trying to send me to a trip in 32, and I did not go for it. I decided instead to go north to the part of town where I usually work. Well, I went to my usual spot, and between 1:30 and 3, I sat and waited. Finally, at almost 3, I got a call into Zone 64 to pick someone up. And I got there and called him. He said, well, we got a cab already. So I headed back into 68. And then I was in 68 again. And as soon as I got into 68, I got another call. Took the guy into a Esquimalt for $18. And then I came back. And it was, what time was it? 3:09. I had a 5:30 time call. 3:09 was the last thing. Whoa. Really? Okay, I'll go get this one. What a strange morning. I had nothing from 3:09 till a 5:40 time call. So it was like over 2 hours. 2.5 hours anyway. So 1.5 hours and now 2.5 hours. I get a call and it was a dead call. I had been to that dead call before, and it happened to me that it was a no load, And this time I waited 5 minutes after the time they were supposed to be out. Nobody came out. It said no calls, so I naturally didn't call. And I waited 5 minutes longer than the time when she was supposed to come out. She used to be a regular customer, but I think she got pissed off at us for something, and now she just leaves that regular time call up, and a car goes there, but she's gone already. She probably takes another cab company or something. She gets to work some other way. Now, after calling that a no-load, now I'm getting sent again to another call at the Accent Inn. Well, let's hope for the best. I've already added up my paperwork, and I'm ready to go home if this is nothing. If it's something, well, great. It's a hotel, so it could be a run to the airport. Wish me luck. Well, that shitty morning has been salvaged somewhat because I just got a run to the airport. As soon as I shot that last segment, I got a call, right? I got a call. The thing went beep, and I answered it. I went to the Accident Inn. Well, it's really the Accent Inn, but I call it the Accident Inn. And I picked up a guy who was going to Seattle, and he had to get to the airport. Now, the reason he was going to Seattle was he was part of a soccer team, and the soccer team was going to go take a bus and go on the ferry and take the ferry to the mainland and then drive to Seattle. But this guy couldn't do that because he's got a class at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So he's got to be in Seattle to go to that class. And so my night ends with 60 American for the end of my night. So 60 American, that's like $80. $80 on top of $294, that's $374. Okay, that's not too bad. It worked out okay, but you know, it could have been a lot better, I think. If I would have had business between 1:30 and 6 like I had up until 1:30. Strange morning. Very, very strange. Well, now that my night's over, I hope yours is better than mine.